Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a look at the recap of the Pro League games that you may have missed from yesterday. Now, though, we should give a shout out to Game Battles. Give them a little bit of a plug. They're doing a good job of that. You can see fully for SND 250 series at 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, Matt. In case the people couldn't see, there was a lower third. I'm glad you.
And then that one down there, it's going to be
behind. You can't see in front of the graphic, dude.
I'm trying. I can't put my hand over the graphic.
You missed it. You need to go a little bit further. You need to lean a little bit further.
There's going to be a 3v3 250 series at 9 p.m. Eastern.
You guys want to play in it?
With you? No.
Hey.
I didn't say with me. God.
Hey.
We both out here.
Max is saved in my cell phone as the worst gamer ever.
It doesn't surprise me.
I have feelings.
Right?
You do?
And we like hurting them. Anyway.
Jeez.
Woo! Whoa! Coming in hot!
Damn!
That was a missile
That's
drop
why you got dropped, Max. No.
I didn't get dropped, but anyway.
No.
I mean, technically, you did.
Yeah. You were never picked up to begin with.
Yeah.
You can't be dropped if you were never picked up.
So let's take a look at the standings currently in Season 2
Yeah.
of the Advanced Warfare Pro League.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah, we kept the standings. I mean, we've been going over kind of the games. We haven't talked about the standings. So Optic Gaming sitting in first place. What a shock at 5-1.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
Justice, a pretty big shock at 3-1, sitting in second place. To now 4-2 in third. Elevate, ON, and AR round out the top 6.
See, I don't look at that too hard. You know, where in the first season,
Yeah.
TCM started last 0-2. Envy 1-5 and 11th. That's a really bad start. Wow. Prof 2-4. Rise 2-2. Good job, Rise. Even TK and FaZe Red both 3-3. But going back to that first card, as I was saying, Justice in second place, kind of like.
This guy's good online, man.
Yeah, but you know we saw teams do it last season.
Yeah, Ware was 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah, and then they were like 2-12 over the next 14 games.
Right. So I mean, I don't know. We will see. I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt. That's for sure. Optic Nation in 5th place. Is that the highest they've been in the Pro League in AW? Probably is.
Yeah.
So GG's to them. Just giving them a hard time.
top
Elevate as well. You gotta give them props.
Yeah, look at Elevate, yeah.
Woo!
Elevate's good. I think Elevate's pretty good. If
So they are.
If
I
they
agree,
get
Max.
if they get their full roster back and they actually pick up TJ full time, I think that they'll be really good.
Well, we'll see.
We shall.
We shall.
We shall.
I hope we'll see.
Let's move on to buy the numbers.
It'd be weird if we didn't.
That's true.
You guys
By the
just
numbers.
making this awkward. Let's
All right.
move on to buy the
I like
numbers.
making things awkward.
Today, by the numbers, we're going to be discussing TCM's first night in the Pro League, looking at all of their individual stats and team stats, starting with TCM's overall team KD.
I have a feeling this is pretty.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably
about
going to be
this.
pretty
And there they are.
Wow.
Nah, not good. Shane, 0.76. Moose
this-
0.67. Jerd,
this-
0.79. Gunshi with a 1.01. So
There's not good, and then there's that.
you got to understand, these guys were extremely
Of course,
jet
they're going
lagged
to be
last
tired,
night.
but
Tough matches.
still,
Yep,
you would
I mean,
expect someone to be able to. Honestly, the key there is Moose. Don't want to point fingers, but he's a player who you expect to play well.
right, Moose needs to play better.
You can't play like that.
No.
What I am curious for is what were their stats at UMG?
Jerd, I expect to put up numbers close to like a Tatch, not exactly like a 1.0, something like a 0.95, 0.98. Those are kind of like a Tatch's numbers because Jerd puts so much pressure on the hill.
Which one is the more alarming one for you?
Out of all of those?
When you look at those numbers, Gun's got to give him props. I mean, what's scary is
Moose.
his overall KD was a 1.01, and he had a 2 KD hardpoint game against Optic Gaming.
Yeah.
That's my mind.
heavily
Moose is the one which stands out
Moose,
for you.
yeah, without a doubt. He needs to be kind of that secondary player behind Jerd on this team.
Yep.
If he doesn't do that, they're going to be in trouble.
Did you find those statistics? You're looking at me with a.
TCM's not up on here.
They-
Actually,
they
there's
are right there.
There's 2 players, and there's
All right, there you go.
Gunshi.
So Shane and Gunshi finished with the 2 worst KDs. Moose not too far
Moose with
behind.
all right, so Moose had a 0.73 in Orlando. Gunch with a 0.66. Shane with a 0.54.
And then Jerd at a 0.83.
So, you know, realistically, they've kind of transferred across.
They played
This is a
better.
little bit
They've been
worse.
playing better.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Gunshi and Shane played better.
Gunch and Shane played better. But those numbers, I mean, that's at the LAN event. Those the statistics from an event. You see, this is why yesterday when we had that talk about, oh, you know, TCM coming, how are they going to do? Like,
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Really?
I'm not too
if they
worried.
Do you think their SMG players can compete with NA SMG players?
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
You really think with numbers like that, the lowest KDs from a UMG event?
Yeah. First night.
Out of the bottom 10 players, is that? Yeah. So TCM had 4 players in the bottom 10 of KDs at UMG. That's the LAN event. Yeah, okay, the game has changed a lot. Yeah. But that's a stat, right? Right now, if you were to look at the Pro League, I wonder what those stats would be. Where would they be relevant to? Are they... Obviously, Gunchi won't be with the 1.01. But can you bring that up as well, Mike?
Bring up the Pro League stats,
See the Pro League stats right now.
There you go. Make yourself useful. There you go. Click
we gave you the PC for a reason. Hit F11 as well, and then we can show the wonderful people that I'm not talking out of my butt.
Hit enter. There you go. Oh, what are you doing?
Max is out here breaking things. I apologize for Max's childish behavior today.
I'm not a child.
It's. I know it can be concerning. That was season 1.
I know.
Do they not have stats for season 2 yet?
Yeah, they're not live on their side yet.
No.
I've been having JP give them to me.
JP, if you're out there, send us the stats. But I imagine they are near the bottom.
Jerd has a 0.5 SND KD. We'll see that later. That's one of our shocking stats.
Why would you? Why would
well, you're asking me.
That?
I'm saying.
No, I asked for
all right, let's just show
KD.
All right, let's go to the next one.
From everyone in season 1.
Everybody be quiet. We're going to go on.
Is that season 2?
No, sorry. I want to see the overall KDs from season 2 thus far to see where those players fall.
We don't have.
I'm saying we don't have them.
I've seen them.
They're not on the site.
I'm leaving this between you two. I'm trying to
think about it.
What?
Doesn't matter. Forget it. But yes, those numbers are very bad.
Yes.
Yep. And let's go to their hardpoint stats. They have averaged a hardpoint score of 175. That is not too good. Average opponent hardpoint score is going to be 243. Average points per capture is going to be 5.83. That's kind of low. Envyus in 11th averages 8.56. So just to kind of put that in perspective, and notable stats usually spelled with 1T at the end, not a 2. Moose 20 and 42 with 11 caps, 2 defends versus OG on that solar, and then you see the polar opposite Gunch 46 and 33 with 5 caps, 2 defends versus Optic Gaming. So I
have those stats, by the way.
Oh, you did?
I knew they existed. So bottom 3 players in season 2 KD currently going to be, thank you, Matt. You can see on your screen, Shane, Moose. Yeah.
Nope, you got BL in there. He's still holding down that bottom position.
Woo! You go, buddy. Merc's down there too. Lawless Vex. Aches. Wow.
BL Fire built a house down there. He's like inviting everybody in.
Oh, stop it. Late shots. He's also down there. Surprising. Theory 0.87. That
really
surprises me to see him so far down at the bottom. But anyway,
notable players making their way down.
My point was,
yeah,
those 3 players, bottom 5.
They played one night.
Yeah.
They played one night.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that was the same.
Yeah, I can play in a league match tonight, and I'll be right at the bottom there.
Yeah, but you suck at Advanced Warfare. I'm better at the game, so that's when it's genuinely concerning. But let's throw back to TCM's hardpoint statistics again. The average hardpoint score, as you said, 175. I mean, you can't win a game on 175.
No.
It's at least somewhat competitive, I think is fair to say.
Well, you saw that they were really close to beating ON. They probably should have beat ON if TP didn't go off like that.
Again, only having played 2 hardpoints.
I was going to say, yeah, right. 2 games.
So you have to think about that. Opponent's average hardpoint score 243. Average points per capture 5.83. That's an interesting statistic. Yeah. I like that.
What's interesting is that Envy, the 11th place team, averages 3 more points per cap than them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're,
I don't really
if you're TCM, if the next team above you is averaging 3 more points per cap, how do you plan on getting out of the bottom 4?
I don't think that's anything which is. If all they played was hardpoint, then yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah,
but there's different game types that you can't really correlate those two.
You could argue it's the most important game in the series.
No, S&D is you play twice in a best of 5.
Well, still, you get the most momentum.
You do. No, just
No, what do you mean? You get the most momentum from winning a
actually,
hardpoint.
if
I
you
would
play
say.
a game type twice, it's the most important game type in the series.
OG won Orlando without winning really a lot of their SNDs.
Great. How many times in history has that ever happened?
Once.
This is like the dumbest argument ever.
You agree with me, though, right?
How can you say that a game that you play once is more important than a game that you play twice?
Thank you.
No, I didn't say that. I just said.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Did I say that?
Yes.
I think
Which is why I just.
I would defend you, but you didn't take my side in the first one.
That's true.
And you definitely did say that.
I'd still. I mean, okay, it's the first game of the series. If you go down 0-1 and then you lose the S&D.
Well, now you
Which then emphasizes even more how important
Why?
it is.
the first game could be uplink, and the second one could be S&D, and you can say, oh, if you lose the first two, you're screwed. Well, it doesn't matter. The game modes didn't matter. It's just the first two maps.
They're all important.
Well, yeah, but you asked which is the most important. Such no story. You played twice.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Whatever. Agree or disagree.
Okay.
I'm just not going to cable my argument.
I'm going to end this, and let's go on to the three shocking stats from
Well,
TCM.
before we do, we have other notable stats, too. Don't forget the other notable stats.
Where? Oh, we already did those.
Oh,
we talked about those, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not paying attention.
No, I'm not, because I'm too
Gunchi.
mind blown.
I know.
Gunchi, the only positive KD for TCM thus far. Does he have the talent to be one of the better ARs in North America?
No. He's good, but
Yeah.
is he going to be as good as Slasher? No. Is he going to be as good as Clay? No.
Can
Is he going to be
he,
as
can
good
he
as
be in the top?
They're the top three.
Can he be in the top echelon of ARs?
Echelon is such a broad. I just named you the top kind of three teams right now. I think we could all really agree with. Is he going to break into those top three as an AR player? Probably
No.
not.
Where does he rank out of
do.
what does he rank out of the ones outside of the top three?
Is he as good as Swanee?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope.
I would have Swanee in my top five.
Yeah, so would I. Who else is there?
You could argue Karma if he pulls out his bow and plays as well as
I
you
mean,
would expect
Karma
him to.
definitely if he pulls out the AR.
Right? Then is Gunchi top 10? Yeah. You saw what he did to Up the Gaming. He basically just turned around and was like, I can kill all of you.
Yeah.
His teammates were the ones that really pooped the bed in that. Like you have to look at that as that was the fundamental issue. But
So then, do you think the SMGs can compete with other SMG players in North America or no?
Judd, 100% yes. Judd has single-handedly destroyed Americans before. That's not.
Yeah. No, we
That's
saw that
nothing
in Black
I'm
Ops
worried
2.
about.
We saw that in Black Ops 2.
But what are you really worried about with this team?
Just the dynamic, to be honest with you. It's as simple as that. The big difference between North American teams and European teams is teamwork and team chemistry and just how often they play the game. This is a very, very unpracticed team in comparison to Up to Gaming, to Up to Nation, to FaZe, to Denial, to all of those squads. Because they've been playing every single day. Currently, yes.
Currently.
But they're going to dig themselves into a hole. That is something I think we can all
how
agree.
deep of a hole?
Yeah.
Exactly that. That's the big concern for me with this squad. How deep of a hole are they realistically
And
going
then
to dig themselves?
here's another interesting stat. Moose averaged 19 kills per 10 minutes. That is the worst Slayer statistic in the Pro League thus far. And he's behind BL Fire, who has it at a 21.52. Last season, the lowest one since 22.95.
Oh, Doug, I love you, man. Oh, Doug.
That's
Doug.
that's definitely gotta change.
The reason
not a lot of
TCM did so
statistics
badly
to go.
yesterday was because of Moose. It's as simple as that. There's no argument to that. You expect him to play well, and he didn't. That's unfortunate. Is that going to happen next time they play Pro League? Probably not.
No.
They're tired. They've just come off, a plane.
Right.
You can expect them to have a bad series. The key is, though, how big of an increase is that number going to get to?
Right.
That's
Where does that number
That's
go?
the thing. The number right now is pathetically low. Yes. It's the worst in the Pro League. Yes. Will it stay that way? No. Of course not. But what is the ceiling to that number? For me, I look at this KD. A 0.67. You know what is even more interesting? And see if you can bring this up for me. Is the EU regionals statistics. And let's have a look at TCM's stats from that. Obviously, they're playing against European teams. Yes, of course. But you can kind of get an idea for their overall as a team, who was doing what in terms of kill to death ratio. That's something I think is. I mean, there you go. Moose 1.20. He normally leads the team in KD. Judd right behind him at 1.19.
Right, and
when they're correlating to be the bottom two, essentially,
You're not gonna win.
you're never going to win.
Here, I think, is the most alarming number from yesterday. this is going to be correct on your screen. You're not going to see this wrong. Jerd has a .50 SND KD, averaging 3 kills a game. And here's what's even crazier than that. That's the second lowest in the league. Merc has a .43 SND KD.
Yeah, that can't be right.
That's like
that's not right.
2
That's
kills
right,
a game.
No, that's not right.
It is.
That cannot possibly be right.
I promise it's
How
right.
many games have Envyus played?
Lowest.
They played 6 matches.
6 matches.
They played, that's
The lowest.
6. That's a minimum of 6. No, that's
The
not right.
lowest.
Swear to God.
The lowest last
way.
season was Burns. .74.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's even more surprising.
Those are 2 pretty bad KDs.
I mean, you get like a 0.5 for just spawning in, don't you?
I hope I would. I'm pretty bad at the game. I hope I would get at least a
We
.5.
can tell that you think game 1 is.
Well, I mean,
game of the series.
Okay,
obviously
we're
we
gonna let
saw-
that go. We're gonna-
Obviously, we saw Jerd's numbers from EU regionals. This isn't the type of player he is.
What was his
Obviously,
SND
one
KD?
night. I
At
think
EU regionals?
Yeah.
I think the Merc KD is a little bit more alarming than that.
It was a .91.
Need to do stuff. Yeah, I mean that's a lot better. We need to.
0.41
Oh, yeah.
decrease.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Bear in mind, they as we mentioned, they've only played 2
one
games.
game.
Two games.
The Merc KD is interesting. I would love to see an Envy behind the numbers.
You want to do it?
I think tomorrow we should do an Envy one just to see what's
They play-
really going on there.
Yeah, they played tonight too.
They played
so-
tonight too, so we got to look at them tonight.
That's true.
And then
That'll
we
make a
can
lot of
do
sense. We should definitely do that.
By the numbers
But
tomorrow.
again, these TCM numbers, I'm not worried by at all. Honestly, it's irrelevant. They literally just arrived in America,
Yeah.
played against Optic Gaming and Optic Nation. Not 2 of the teams you want to play on your first debut night. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they got kind of slaughtered, but it really doesn't matter. They're using the first 2 weeks until Card Champs as a learning experience. That's the key. How much can they learn about the North American playstyle?
Right.
How much can they improve
Yeah.
as a team? Because ultimately, they're not numbers that you're going to see in 2 weeks' time. Those KDs, if you go back to TCM's overall KD
Telling you.
card, those digits are just not going to happen again.
They are going to be fine by the 5K this weekend. They're going to be.
I think that's too soon. I
They're
honestly
going
think
to
that's too
be
soon.
well adjusted by then.
Well adjusted to the time zone, yes.
No, I mean
Well adjusted to waking up at.
the speed of the game and you know,
Disagree.
where people are going. Yeah, they can pick it up if they grind it. Just imagine.
I know they're
comes
going
down
to.
to
I
how
know the
hard they're
guys at
gonna work.
TCM. Gunji's been waiting for an opportunity like this his whole life. Like this is basically what he's been playing for, to play in North America at the highest level.
Yeah.
He's going to grind that. He's basically imagine Swanee. I'm trying to think of the really. He's like the number 2 AR behind Swanee, I would say.
in
EU.
In terms of like history, in terms of ability. I mean, you saw what he did to. Like, come on. How many times have you seen a player do that to Optic Gaming?
no, not really.
Clay.
But he was making it look easy.
what I'm saying.
And his teammates,
Yeah.
Clay
his
and
teammates
Slasher, really?
were so far behind that like no one. It wasn't even as if he was just getting a lot of kills and dying. He
Right.
just simply wasn't dying. He was just winning those gunfights. Like that
Yeah.
says, that tells you a lot. Like he can play at the top level.
Right.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But those numbers will be completely different at champs. I would bet you my yearly salary, but that would be different.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, TCM are probably in this for the long run coming into play in the Pro League. Do you think they would ever even maybe consider? I know this is just 2 days in.
If you say a team
two
change,
matches.
no.
No, I'm saying like if things don't change and they still want to stay in the Pro League, would they ever? Or
No,
you don't think so?
No.
no. They're contracted.
This
It's
is
just something that
either
happens.
it works
or
and
it
they
does.
stay, or it doesn't work and they all go home.
But either way, so you look at it this way. Swanee went back to Europe and he was just
Right.
destroying people.
Yeah.
So this squad, say they finished 9th in the Pro League, and they decide that Pro League isn't for us. The cost benefit analysis, whatever, it isn't worth it. They go back to Europe. There's a big argument to say they would be the number 1 European team.
Oh,
I
yeah.
doubt they would. They'd be the most well practiced.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I think honestly, even if they finish 9th in the Pro League, I think they're here to stay. I think they would get a spot back in relegation.
There's more to it than just that. I think going back to, if you remember Swanee with visa issues, that's something which could potentially come into play. As a European, I know a lot about that. Trust me.
We tried to send you back. You won't go.
No, I just clamp to the desk. What you can't see is there's actually a chain actually buckled to the desk, so I actually can't leave. I sleep here too. It's true. It's my bed. Anyway, that got weird. Quick, don't rub my bed.
This is very comfortable.
Thank you. It's wooden, sturdy, back support. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, back to the original point.
What you
Not worried.
looking
Not worried by
I'm
these.
not looking at anything.
Not worried by these stats at all. Honestly, they're kind of they're meaningless. It's interesting to look at after day one, but ultimately, who really cares?
The Merc KD is shocking.
That out of all of those
stats I saw, that's the shocking one.
That's the only stat which I have seen so far that has genuinely. I still don't think that's right. That cannot possibly be correct.
We'll have to get confirmation from JP.
JP, I think you've done goofed on that one.
Yeah. JP
a player cannot have a professional player on a squad like Envyus cannot have a 0.43 KD.
JP doesn't mess up, so.
Merc's a good SND player.
They've been struggling in the league.
Has it been that bad?
They're 1-5.
Yeah, they're 1-5.
Yeah,
they lost to AR.
What's wrong with AR?
We all thought AR was going to win. I mean, Envy was going to win that game. We were like, Envy needs to win that game, or there's some issues. So.
I don't know about that, Max.
You did say that. We'll go back and watch the VOD.
You know, if I
just
did,
like,
I guess
just
so.
like you didn't say that Hardpoint was playing series.
You did say that.
Hey, so in like professional sports, if you lose game 1 of the series, of like a playoff series, how many times this series do the teams who lose that game win a series?
It's irrelevant. This isn't baseball.
Yeah,
basketball.
it's not
I'm just saying.
It's completely different.
We're not going back to this statement.
There's a home field advantage in those sports. You would lose it if
There's
you
a host
lost
advantage in
game 1.
online Call of Duty.
Okay, and it changes between. You don't know who would have it map 1 every time. You're arguing something that cannot be argued.
Well, it
can be argued.
It can be argued because the correct answer is SND.
Yeah, but there's a clear-cut correct answer, so there is no argument.
Oh, right, yeah.
Envy, by the way, 0-6 in S&D so far in the league.
Oh, well, there you
go.
How many rounds have they won? That's the interesting stat.
Oh, no. Tomorrow's By the Numbers needs to be about Envy.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. Hope you guys enjoyed that little segment. For now, quick commercial break. But when we return, it gets even more interesting. We've got the quick scope coming up. Me and Matt asking and answering some controversial questions. You guys get to vote on who you think is right. Be right back.